Admiral Reed stood at the massive viewing window of the Galactic Council's observation station, his four-fingered hands clasped behind his back, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing Earth's solar system. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Run the scan again," he ordered, his voice calm despite the growing unease in his chest. The young operator, Tom, tapped the controls with practiced speed. "Sir, it's the same result as the last 12 scans. No signals, no transmissions, no quantum communications. Earth has gone completely dark." Reed's antenna twitched, a sign of deep thought among his species. Just 3 days ago, Earth had been its usual busy self, a constant stream of communications, ships moving in and out of its space lanes, and the ever-present chatter of its global network. Now, nothing. "Show me the last recorded transmissions," Reed said, moving closer to the main screen. The data scrolled past: radio signals, digital broadcasts, and space traffic control messages. Everything had stopped at exactly 3:47 a.m. Universal Earth time. Tom pulled up another display. "Sir, look at this. The final messages don't show any panic or emergency protocols. It's as if..." He paused, searching for the right words. "As if they simply turned everything off." Reed finished. The thought was disturbing. Humans didn't just turn everything off. In the 50 years since humanity had joined the galactic community, they had become known for their constant activity, endless curiosity, and relentless expansion. Reed walked to his private office, the door sliding shut behind him. He activated his secure communication link to the Council. 5 faces appeared on his screen, the ruling members of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. "Honorable Council," Reed began, "I believe we have a situation that requires immediate attention. Earth has gone silent." The council member from the Centauri Federation, a being of pure energy contained in a humanoid form, spoke first. "Perhaps they have finally destroyed themselves. Many predicted this outcome." Reed shook his head. "No signs of nuclear activity or large-scale destruction. No debris in orbit. Their cities appear intact from our long-range scans. They've simply stopped communicating." "Could it be a technical failure?" asked the Regellian representative, her scales shifting color with concern. "A planet-wide technical failure? Impossible," Reed replied. "This was coordinated. The question is, why?" The council members exchanged worried looks. They had been watching Earth's rapid technological progress with growing concern. In just 5 decades, humans had gone from basic spaceflight to developing technologies that rivaled civilizations thousands of years older. "We should send an investigation team," suggested the Proximan delegate, his crystalline structure glowing softly. "No," said the High Elder, speaking for the first time. The ancient being's voice carried the weight of millennia. "We wait. Watch. If this is some human trick, we must not show our hand too quickly." Reed felt a chill run down his spine. The humans had a saying he'd learned during his diplomatic missions to Earth: "Beware the quiet ones." Now, the noisiest species in the galaxy had gone quiet. Over the next few days, Reed watched as the galaxy's reaction to Earth's silence shifted from concern to relief. Many species had feared humanity's rapid rise. Their silence was seen as a blessing, a potential threat neutralized without the need for intervention. But Reed wasn't convinced. He'd spent too much time studying humans to believe they would simply vanish. As he stared at the dark spot on his communications display, where Earth's signal should be, he remembered another human saying, "The calm before the storm." In his gut, he knew this wasn't the end of humanity's story. It was just the beginning of something bigger, something that would shake the galaxy to its core. He just hoped they would all be ready when the truth finally revealed itself. Captain James Miles stood perfectly still on the bridge of the stealth ship Shadow, watching the alien patrol craft pass by. His ship, hidden behind advanced cloaking technology, was completely invisible to their sensors. 6 months had passed since Earth went dark, and now humanity was watching the Watchers. "Status report," he whispered, though he knew the aliens couldn't hear him even if he shouted. "All systems silent, Captain," replied Lisa, his second in command. Her fingers moved across the holographic controls without making a sound. "The Centauri Patrol has no idea we're here." Miles allowed himself a small smile. The aliens thought Earth was finished, a dead world that had somehow destroyed itself. They couldn't be more wrong. Through the main viewport, he watched as another alien ship joined the patrol. This one was bigger, marked with the symbols of the Galactic Council. He recognized Admiral Reed's personal flagship. "Interesting," Miles murmured. The Admiral's still searching for answers. The shadow sensors recorded everything: ship movements, communications, and energy signatures. This information would be valuable for what was coming next. "Sir," Lisa called softly, "we're getting an encrypted message from Base Zero." Base Zero was humanity's hidden command center, built in the spaces between normal space, a technology the aliens thought impossible. The message was brief: Operation Dark Shield proceeding as planned. Continue observation. Maintain silence. Miles remembered the day Earth went quiet. It hadn't been a disaster or an attack. It had been a choice. Humanity had discovered the aliens' plans to contain Earth's growth, to keep humans from becoming too powerful. Instead of fighting back immediately, they chose a different path. "Captain," the sensor operator called out, "3 more alien ships entering the sector. They're scanning the old trade routes again." Miles watched as the alien ships moved through space that used to be filled with human vessels. They were like children poking at an empty beehive, wondering where all the bees had gone. But the bees weren't gone. They were building something bigger. The shadow glided silently through space, following Admiral Reed's ship at a safe distance. They'd been tracking him for months, learning his patterns, understanding his thoughts. Of all the aliens in the Galactic Council, Reed seemed to be the only one who suspected there was more to Earth's silence than met the eye. "Look at this," Lisa said, pulling up a recording. "They're talking about us again." The intercepted communication played quietly on the bridge. Alien voices discussed Earth's disappearance, their relief obvious. Some spoke of claiming abandoned human colonies. Others argued about dividing up Earth's former trade routes. "They think we're finished," Miles said, shaking his head. "That's exactly what we want them to think." The Shadow's crew continued their silent watch as the alien ships moved through the sector. Each patrol brought new data, new insights into alien capabilities and behaviors. All of it was being collected, analyzed, and used to prepare. Miles checked the ship's special cargo: quantum processors that could crack any alien encryption, sensors that could detect ships in hyperspace, and weapons that could hit targets before they knew they were in danger. All of it had been developed in secret, hidden behind Earth's noisy, chaotic exterior. "Message from the Ghost Fleet," Lisa reported. "They're in position around 3 more alien worlds. No detection." Miles nodded. Humanity's silent ships were everywhere now, gathering intelligence, setting up hidden bases, preparing for the day when the silence would end. The aliens thought Earth's silence was a sign of weakness. They didn't understand that silence could be a weapon too. A small alert flashed on his screen. Another alien empire was planning to investigate one of Earth's abandoned colonies. Miles sent a quick, encrypted warning to Base Zero. Let them come, he thought. They would find nothing but empty buildings and quiet streets. The real human presence was invisible, watching, waiting for the right moment. "Keep us on course," Miles ordered. "And remember, not a whisper, not a sound. The galaxy thinks Earth has fallen silent. Let's keep them thinking that way." The Shadow continued its silent journey through space, one of hundreds of human ships moving unseen through the galaxy. The aliens had their patrols and their sensors, their mighty fleets and their advanced technology. But they didn't have what humanity had learned in these months of silence. Sometimes the most dangerous predator was the one you couldn't hear coming. Director Anna Thompson stood in the underground command center, remembering the day that changed everything. 1 year ago, Before Earth went dark, she had made the discovery that would reshape humanity's future. "Play the recording again," she told the computer. The screen lit up with an intercepted alien transmission. She had watched it hundreds of times, but it still made her blood run cold. The hologram showed 5 alien leaders from the most powerful civilizations. They were planning how to stop Earth's rapid growth. Some wanted war. Others suggested economic sanctions. All agreed that humanity needed to be contained. "We found this just in time," said Robert, her chief of intelligence, standing beside her. "If we hadn't intercepted it, they would have caught us unprepared," Anna finished. She walked to the massive wall screen showing Earth's current status. Everything was dark. Cities running on minimum power, space stations seemingly abandoned, colonies appearing deserted, all part of Operation Dark Shield. The memory of that crucial World Defense Council meeting played in her mind. She had stood before the leaders of Earth's nations, showing them the proof of the aliens' plans. "We can't fight them directly," she had told the Council. "Not yet, but we can make them think they've won without firing a shot." The plan had been bold. Make Earth appear to have suffered some mysterious catastrophe. Let the aliens think humanity had destroyed itself or gone dormant. Use their arrogance against them. "Status report," Anna called out to the command center staff. "All systems running silent," reported the chief technician. "The quantum shield is holding. As far as the aliens can tell, Earth is still dark." The quantum shield was humanity's greatest achievement, a technology that made an entire planet appear inactive while hiding unprecedented activity beneath. In the past year, Earth had advanced more than in the previous 50 years combined. "Show me the progress on Project Phoenix," Anna ordered. New images appeared on the screen. Hidden factories deep underground were producing ships more advanced than anything the aliens had. Scientists, freed from having to maintain appearances, were making breakthrough after breakthrough. "They think we've gone backwards," Robert said with a slight smile. "They don't realize we're leaping forward." Anna nodded. The aliens' own monitoring networks now worked against them. They were so busy watching Earth's surface for signs of recovery that they missed the real action happening beneath their sensors. "Message from the stealth fleet," called out a communications officer. "Captain Miles reports the aliens are starting to get bold. Some are talking about claiming our colonies." "Let them try," Anna said quietly. Each abandoned colony was a trap, ready to reveal humanity's true power when the time was right. She walked to another screen showing the galaxy map. Hundreds of secret human bases glowed as tiny dots, invisible to alien sensors. Supply lines that no one could see. Ships that moved like ghosts between the stars. "Director," Robert said, "the Council is ready for your update." Anna straightened her uniform and headed to the meeting room. The world's leaders appeared on screens around her, each running their nations from similar hidden facilities. "Operation Dark Shield remains successful," she reported. "The aliens believe exactly what we want them to believe. Every day they grow more confident in our weakness, and every day we grow stronger." "And the final phase?" asked one of the council members. "On schedule," Anna replied. "When we finally break our silence, the galaxy will learn that humanity hasn't been sleeping. We've been preparing." She looked at the latest reports from their hidden research teams. Quantum weapons that could bypass any shield. Ships that could outrun light itself. Defenses that made their old technology look like stone tools. "The aliens wanted to contain us," she told the council. "Instead, they taught us the most valuable lesson. Sometimes the best way to win a fight is to make your enemy think there isn't going to be one." The meeting ended, and Anna returned to the command center. On the screens above her, the galaxy continued its normal patterns, unaware that humanity was about to change everything. The aliens had wanted to keep humanity quiet. Soon, they would learn that silence could be the deadliest sound of all. Commander Jack Wilson walked through the hidden research base in the Belt of Shadows, an asteroid field that alien sensors couldn't penetrate. 2 years had passed since Earth went quiet, and humanity had used every second wisely. "Show me the latest test results," he told his chief scientist, Mary, as they entered the main lab. The huge screen lit up, displaying a new type of ship engine. It didn't just bend space like alien ships did. It shifted through quantum layers, moving faster than anyone thought possible. "We're ready for the final test," Mary said, her eyes bright with excitement. "The aliens still think their drives are the fastest in the galaxy. They have no idea what we've built out here." Jack watched as technicians prepared the test ship. It looked simple from the outside, just another piece of space debris floating among the asteroids. But inside, it held technology that would change everything. "Base 7 reports their quantum shields are ready," his assistant called from a nearby console. "And Base 12 has finished the new weapon systems." Each hidden base specialized in different technology. While the aliens thought humanity was gone, these secret stations had pushed the boundaries of what was possible. "Start the engine test," Jack ordered. Through the observation window, the test ship flickered and vanished. Not just invisible. It had shifted into spaces between normal space. On another screen, they watched it reappear near Jupiter. A journey that should have taken days happened in seconds. "Perfect," Mary whispered. "Just perfect." Jack smiled. He remembered how the aliens used to look down on human technology, treating Earth like a young child playing with toys. Now humanity had surpassed them in ways they couldn't imagine. "Sir," called the security officer, "we're picking up an alien scout ship at the edge of the asteroid field." "Let them come," Jack said calmly. "All they'll see is rocks and empty space." The base's quantum shields made it completely invisible. Even if the alien ship flew right through the asteroid where they stood, their sensors would only detect normal space. Jack walked to the weapon testing area, where engineers were working on something that looked like a simple metal sphere. But when activated, it could shut down any alien technology within range. They had developed it by studying the weaknesses in alien defenses, weaknesses the aliens didn't even know they had. "Message from Earth Command," his assistant reported. "Director Thompson wants an update on Project Thunder." Project Thunder was their biggest secret, a network of quantum satellites hidden throughout the galaxy. When activated, they would give humanity control over space itself. Jack sent back a short message. "Project Thunder at 90% completion. All systems ready." In another part of the base, researchers worked on improving the power armor for human soldiers. The suits looked like normal spacesuits from the outside, but they could bend reality around the wearer, making them nearly unstoppable in combat. "Commander," Mary called out, "you should see this." She showed him data from their long-range sensors. An alien fleet was gathering near one of Earth's abandoned colonies. They were preparing to claim it for themselves. "Should we warn the colony?" someone asked. Jack shook his head. "No. The colony is ready. Let them come. It's time the galaxy got its first glimpse of what humanity has become." He looked around the vast hidden base, one of dozens scattered throughout space. In every corner, humans worked quietly, building technologies that would reshape the galaxy. The aliens thought Earth's silence meant weakness. Soon they would learn that the quietest hunter was often the most dangerous. "Send word to all bases," he ordered. "Begin final preparations. The time of silence is almost over." The message went out through quantum channels no alien could detect. Throughout the galaxy, hidden human bases acknowledged the order. 2 years of silence and secret work were about to pay off. The galaxy thought humanity had fallen. Instead, they had risen higher than ever before, and no one had heard them coming. The alien attack fleet appeared above the human colony world of New Hope, their weapons charged. 6 warships against what looked like a defenseless planet. The alien commander, General Quakes of the Steel Empire, felt confident. After all, Earth had been silent for 2 years. This colony was just sitting here, waiting to be taken. "No signs of defense systems," his sensor officer reported. "The human cities appear abandoned, just like the reports said." Quakes smiled. This would be the easiest conquest of his career. "Begin landing procedures," he ordered. "Send in the first wave." But in the hidden command center beneath the colony's surface, Colonel Mark Peters watched the alien ships with a calm smile. He pressed a button, sending a simple message. "They've taken the bait. Operation Thunder begins now." Suddenly, the space around the alien fleet changed. Reality itself seemed to twist as hidden quantum satellites activated. 3 massive human ships appear out of nowhere, emerging from spaces between spaces that the aliens didn't even know existed. "Impossible," Quakes shouted, staring at his sensors. These weren't the simple human ships he remembered. These vessels seemed to bend light around them, their hulls shifting with patterns that hurt his eyes. "Sir," his officer called out in panic. "The human ships, they're using technology we've never seen before." Before Quakes could respond, quantum-shifted beams of energy lanced out from the human vessels. They didn't just hit his ship's shields. They passed right through them, as if they weren't there. 2 of his warships disappeared instantly, their atoms scattered across multiple dimensions. "Launch all fighters," Quakes ordered. "Return fire." But as his fighters deployed, something else appeared. Hundreds of humans in powered armor materialized around his ships, their suits letting them move through space as easily as air. They weren't using normal propulsion. They were bending space itself to move. Inside his armor, Lieutenant David Parker led the space assault team. "Remember your training," he told his soldiers through the quantum comm. "Just like we practiced." The alien fighters fired their best weapons, but the human armor suits shifted between quantum states, making them impossible to hit. David watched his team easily disable the alien ships, using technology that had been developed in secret during Earth's silence. On the colony's surface, hidden defense towers rose from the ground. But they didn't fire normal weapons. Instead, they released waves of quantum energy that turned the aliens' own technology against them. Engines failed, weapons shut down, and communication systems went dead. "This is impossible," Quakes whispered, watching his mighty fleet fall apart. Earth was supposed to be finished. They were silent, powerless. "General," his second-in-command reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the surface." Colonel Peters' face appeared on their screen. "General Quakes," he said calmly, "Earth's silence was not our ending. It was our beginning. You thought we were weak. Now you see our strength." The last of Quakes' fighters fell to the human armor suits. His mighty warships hung powerless in space, disabled by technology he couldn't understand. In just 10 minutes, his entire attack force had been defeated without a single human casualty. "Surrender now," Peters continued, "and you'll be treated fairly. Resist, and you'll see even more of what humanity has become." Quakes looked at his ruined fleet and knew he had no choice. As he gave the surrender order, he realized what a terrible mistake they had all made. They thought Earth's silence meant death. Instead, it had hidden the birth of something far more powerful than they could have imagined. News of the battle spread quickly through the galaxy. The humans hadn't died or given up. They had transformed themselves. Their silence hadn't been their end. It had been their evolution. In his office on the Galactic Council station, Admiral Reed watched the reports with a grim smile. He had known humans were too clever to simply disappear. Now everyone else would learn what he had suspected all along. When humanity went quiet, it wasn't because they were weak. It was because they were preparing to change everything. Admiral Reed stood before the Galactic Council, his hands shaking slightly as he delivered the report that would change everything. The defeat of the Steel Empire's fleet wasn't just a single battle, he told the assembled alien leaders. It was our first glimpse of what humanity has become. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives from 100 worlds tried to speak at once. The High Elder raised his ancient hand for silence. "Explain," the Elder commanded. "How did they advance so far without our knowledge?" Reed activated the main display, showing the true extent of human activities during their 2 years of silence. Hidden bases near every major alien world. Stealth ships tracking every fleet. Quantum satellites watching every movement. While we celebrated their supposed downfall, Reed said, they were studying us, learning our weaknesses, surpassing our strengths. The Centauri representative stood up, his energy form flickering with agitation. This is impossible. Our sensors would have detected such activities. No, Reed replied. They wouldn't, because humanity hasn't just improved their technology. They've learned to use spaces we didn't even know existed. He showed them recordings from the battle at New Hope Colony. Human ships appearing from nowhere, weapons that ignored shields, armor suits that bent reality. The council members watched in stunned silence. The humans didn't fall silent because they were weak, Reed continued. They fell silent because they discovered our plans to contain them. Instead of fighting us then, they chose to prepare. In orbit above the council world, Captain Miles watched the meeting through the shadow's quantum sensors. His stealth ship had been there for months, one of hundreds positioned around the galaxy's most important worlds. They're finally beginning to understand, he told his crew. Transmit the signal. Across the galaxy, human ships and bases began dropping their cloaks. Quantum satellites revealed themselves. Hidden outposts emerged from dimensional shifts. The galaxy's leaders watched in shock as they realized just how completely humanity had surrounded them. Back in the council chamber, Reed displayed a final set of images. These are the technological advances humanity has made in just 2 years of silence. They've achieved in secret what would have taken us centuries to develop openly. The Rigelian representative's scales had turned pale. How many ships do they have? How many bases? We don't know, Reed admitted. Every time we think we found them all, more appear. They're in places we can't scan, using technology we can't track. On Earth, Director Thompson watched the council meeting through their quantum network. She turned to her staff in the underground command center. Send the final signal, she ordered. It's time to show them everything. Across the galaxy, human quantum processors began decoding every alien encryption. Hidden weapon systems activated, easily bypassing the strongest alien defenses. In a single hour, humanity demonstrated that they could shut down any alien technology at will. We were fools, the High Elder said quietly. We thought silence meant weakness. No, Reed corrected him. We were fools because we never asked why they chose silence. We were so focused on our own power that we never considered they might have found something greater. The council chamber fell quiet as the full truth sank in. Humanity hadn't just caught up to the galaxy's powers, they had quietly surpassed them all. But in the depths of space, in hidden bases and secret labs, humans knew this wasn't the end of their journey. They had discovered something during their silence, something that made their conflict with the council seem small. As the galaxy's leaders struggled to understand their new reality, Director Thompson prepared for her address to the council. Soon, they would learn the real reason behind Earth's silence, and the terrible truth that had driven humanity to advance so far, so fast. Director Anna Thompson stood before the Galactic Council, her presence making even the ancient High Elder sit straighter. The chamber was packed with representatives from every spacefaring race, all waiting to hear why humanity had gone silent only to emerge more powerful than ever. 2 years ago, she began, Earth discovered your plans to contain us, but that's not why we chose silence. She activated a hologram in the center of the chamber. It showed something massive moving between the galaxies, a darkness that consumed light itself. While monitoring deep space, she continued, we detected this. An entity so large it makes our galaxy look like a grain of sand. And it's coming here. The council chamber erupted in whispers and gasps. Admiral Reed leaned forward, his antenna twitching rapidly. How long? The High Elder asked, his ancient voice trembling. 50 years, Thompson replied. We discovered that similar entities have destroyed other galaxies. When we found your plans to contain Earth, we realized we couldn't waste time fighting among ourselves. We needed to prepare, all of us. She brought up new images showing the true purpose of humanity's quantum technology. The ships that could shift between spaces weren't just for war. They could move entire planets if needed. The weapons that ignored shields were designed to affect things far larger than alien warships. We didn't advance in secret to conquer you, Thompson explained. We advanced because we needed to protect everyone. Your civilizations have existed for thousands of years, but you stopped pushing boundaries. You stopped looking for new ways to understand space itself. In orbit above, Captain Miles watched from the shadow as more human ships revealed themselves. But this time, they weren't showing weapons. They were showing shield generators capable of protecting entire star systems, engines that could move solar systems out of harm's way. Humanity chose silence, Thompson continued, because we needed to develop these technologies quickly, without interference, without the limits of what you thought was possible. She displayed more data about the approaching entity. The council members saw simulation after simulation showing that their current technology would be useless against it. We could have revealed this threat immediately, she said, but your civilizations were too set in their ways. You would have tried to fight it with the same technologies you've used for millennia. Technologies we now know won't work. Commander Jack Wilson, watching from his research base, sent the signal to activate Project Thunder's final phase. Across the galaxy, quantum satellites linked together, creating a network that could detect and track anything, anywhere. Today, Thompson announced, we offer everything we've developed. All our advances, all our discoveries. Not as weapons against you, but as tools to help us all survive. The High Elder stood slowly. You did all this to save us. We did this to save everyone, Thompson corrected. Earth went silent so the galaxy could survive. Now we're speaking again so we can work together. She showed them humanity's full plans, how their quantum technology could unite the galaxy's civilizations into a single defensive network, how their dimensional studies had revealed ways to protect entire sectors of space, how their new understanding of reality itself might give them a chance against the approaching darkness. The time for silence is over, Thompson concluded. Now is the time for all of us to speak together, to work together. We have 50 years to prepare for something that has destroyed other galaxies. We'll need every world, every mind, every idea. Admiral Reed was the first to stand. Earth didn't fall silent in weakness, he said. They fell silent in wisdom. And now they're offering to share that wisdom. One by one, the council members stood. The galaxy's greatest powers, realizing that humanity's greatest deception hadn't been their show of weakness. It had been hiding how much they wanted to protect everyone. Earth speaks again, Thompson said finally. And we ask you all, will you speak with us? Will you work with us? Will you help us save everything? The council's answer was unanimous. The galaxy would face the coming darkness together. Led by the civilization that had learned sometimes the quietest voice spoke the most important truth.